Trying to rotate this thing. Who knows? All right. Again, I'm just playing with the filters on this thing. But yeah, just kind of wanted to tell you guys what I was talking about on Periscope. So I kind of want to share that. Like, you know, I kind of will still share. I'm gonna share everything from Periscope. Um, I may not. It just depends on what I feel like sharing. But I just want to talk to you guys about spiritual parasites and pretty much how that pretty much affects things with your, you know, your spiritual scent, and how you can rid yourself of these, you know, these so-called spiritual parasites. You know, I just felt like I was pretty much, you know, inclined to actually come to you with that information about spiritual parasites, because I know a lot of people are saying things about these spiritual parasites from a very good or bad type perspective of duality. Um, and another thing is, I also want to talk to you about other physical parasites too, because you know these spiritual parasites can cause the physical parasites. But other than that, um, you know, the physical parasites had a lot to do with yourself eating meat and differently genetically modified foods. So genetically modified foods. Um, Sometimes a lot of people just want to eat things that you know has like high fructose corn syrup. That's something bad. You know, you got something like um, just things that monosodium. Like me, I didn't pretty much memorize all of these type of foods that have the genetically modified organisms in them. So again, genetically modified organisms meaning things that are like entities. So it's pretty much the physical aspect of a parasite, of something that's probably like a worm or something that's pretty much eating things up inside your intestines. That's pretty much messing with yourself, and it's just messing with your spiritual scent. Another thing is, the spiritual aspect of entity, spiritual parasites, and a lot of that, I have to say, a lot of it comes from what you believe in as far as religion. They feed off your religion, like what you believe in. Like for example, like if you're somebody that understands like um, the Bible, and you start to like have emotional issues and things like that, they feed off that fear, that neglect, that hurt, and that pain, depending on what your issue is, and they actually attach themselves to you, whatever spiritual parasite or entity that's um, being attached to you. And it's really hard for you to feel like a better person when this is happening, because from my experience, I look back at it now that I used to be a 7-day Adventist, and I try to figure out exactly why, everything was not happening the way I was wanted to happen, even though I was following the Bible word for word, T for T, and why none of these things were happening for me. Yeah, this thing has a bad connection. Connection's bad. Yeah, I apologize if the connection's bad. I don't know why, but pretty much, what I mean, it's those type of emotions I was feeling, just like trying to figure out like why was it so bad for me. Like I'm really frustrated, spiritually. And again, it could be letting you know that you're having a spiritual parasite within you that's latched onto you about as far as religion goes. And I feel like just that, spiritual aspect of putting into a dogmatic sense of religion of something that you really can't really prove, or again, opens yourself up to spiritual parasites, different types of entities based on your own emotions, and latches on to your chakras. And again, I'm not saying spiritual entities are just always looking for people, but or if they may not, if they exist, I'm just saying that this is something that you need to be aware of, really, because I really haven't felt like I had any type of spiritual thing really attached to me since me being in a following religion, as far as like Christianity. But if you're thinking about working with different types of spirits and different types of demons and different types of entities, then you have to be aware of these things and how to um, try to make sure that you are pretty much able to banish these negative entities out of you, and pretty much any type of other negative energies away from you. And again, and a lot of these spiritual parasites is, again, they breed on into the physical dimension, create sickness. And, a lot of doctors are not even aware of this type of knowledge. We don't never take this type of stuff into consideration either. But it's something that you should be aware of, because it could be something that it's that's apparent in your spiritual set. Okay, I don't know, that flash is like hitting my eyeball. But yeah, definitely something you should want to be aware of. And I was reading a book on vampire magic, and vampire magic is it's different than a lot of other magic. Well, to a certain extent, it's just like they go deeper into like the the psychic attack type work of how to rid these other type of entities. Like I kind of feel like they're on the front lines of fighting these spiritual parasites, just based on the information I'm reading, because that's a little bit more proof for me to understand that these spiritual parasites are somewhat real. And um, I think that's really the main question that arises within me, because I'm always questioning everything, especially with my third eye open most of the time. But I really want to talk about spiritual parasites, just so that you can be aware of what's going on. But it does talk into how to rid these parasites within people to help heal them, and how to get them out of your out of your field, out of your out of your body. Um, and I know there's a way for you to do that when people come up to you, which could take time and skill of actually mastering this type of craft. And I know a lot of people go into it as Reiki. That's a form of actually, you know, getting the spiritual parasites out of yourself. A lot of Reiki deals with energy work. But again, it doesn't really cross my mind that, spiritual parasites are real, because, a lot of people already pretty much thought and known that these things are real. So it's pretty much real in the spiritual dimension, that we have entities out there that do latch onto us for some type of personal gain. And sometimes some spirits, entities, don't even know, they just don't want to die. They just want to keep doing what they need to do, to get onto somebody, because that's the only way they live. And a lot of people will see that as some type of haunting or possession. And yes, and you can talk about I could talk about exorcism too, in this type of sense too, at the same time, because spiritual parasites can get to that point into somebody, if they're really being influenced by some type of parasite. And so it's something that you want to just be aware of, not something you can focus on, but something you want to be aware of, in case you feel like it's something that's happening. So you just need to do a psychic scan of your body through meditation, or a psychic scan of somebody else to see if they may have some type of parasites that need to be released from their chakras, or just pretty much from their aura in general. But again, from the chakras, it's a good place to start. And again, they can latch on to any part of your body, your spirit body. Um, you just want to be aware of that, because again, when you're dealing with your new age awakening, or you're dealing with, you know, conjuring spirits, demons, and all these things, I mean, there's things out there. Apparently, there's all types of things out there that you could experience, and you want to be ready for all of those things. But you don't want to go in there as the person that's afraid or anything like that, because you're pretty much the point. At that point, then you're going to attract those things into your field. You're going to attract those things a lot quicker than if you were just wanted to be knowing that you're prepared. That's why it's really important for you to understand um, the spells and the rituals that you're working, or the beliefs and the thoughts that the intents and things that you're manifesting once you're working, doing your workings and your magical, rituals or whatever that you do. Because again, that's going to attract all of this energy to you. Some people automatically attract negative energy all the time, and a lot of people, it's sometimes you're having that effect, as a descendant master type, like myself. Like, you always attract these type of people that latch on, that have these spiritual parasites. I can see them, and I really think that sometimes I get sick off that, and I think that's the reason why today, this morning, I had to talk about it. And I feel like my guides are telling me that, but I can barely talk. But so really, if you're like a healer or a counselor, spiritual adept, black magician, white magician, just a regular person, and spiritual parasites, it's definitely something that you should really want to be aware of. It's definitely something that you should be able to counteract if it happens. And I am going to make sure I find out more information about these spiritual parasites too. Not just what they are, but it's pretty much everything, but just different techniques of how people can actually rid of these different parasites. And I could go into a lot of them here on this live stream, but you definitely should, become part of the Enlightened Network, because I have a lot of books on vampire magic that really explain about the how to get rid of these different types of parasitic entities that are in your field. Um, it's really, if you join an Enlightened Network, you don't have to. I know I did a video before about it, but I have a Facebook group that you can actually get access to this information. But again, you have to answer the question before you actually join the group. Now, if you don't answer the question, then you're not going to be able to get inside the group. Or if you're on my list already, you should already got the email. But again, I will be going through some of that information, and I might go through it on some of these live streams too. And also make sure you follow me on Periscope at the same time. A lot of information that I'm sharing with you, it's on Periscope, and then I bring it on to Instagram and YouTube sometimes, just depending on what I want to share. And that's how I'm going to start running these live streams. I know everybody's online on different times, so they may be missing things, because I know you can't be on my live streams every day. I understand that you can't do that, but I still want you to get that information. If nobody's on this live stream, it's okay. But now I'm probably going to get on Facebook on my fan page. So make sure you follow me there too. But make sure you follow me on Instagram and Periscope. I think Instagram and Periscope, there's a place to hang out at. It used to be Facebook, but I think it's Periscope and Instagram. Well, Instagram first and then Periscope. Instagram, Periscope, Facebook, then YouTube. Yep, right in that order. Alright, so I will see you guys on the next live stream. So make sure you connect with me on all my social media platforms, and be patient for all you guys that were reading my blog and also some of the videos that I come out with. I'm actually working on a new opening for my videos, so I'm probably gonna share that with you guys here in a minute. But just be watching out for the videos and different types of information I'm sharing with you guys if you want to. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video with anybody that you may know that may be having some issues with, spiritual parasites. If you got any questions, I'm not like a lot of people just tell them to call my office, or I'm definitely going to connect with you, give you explanation as much as I can if I have the time. But again, my name is Arnoundwoodgett. If I didn't say that before, you'll see that on my page. My name is Arnoundwoodgett. You guys have a great Sunday. If I know some of you guys most of you guys are watching this in the future, but I will see you guys on the next YouTube live stream. Talk to you guys later.